Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, the next day it's going to be my Hokas.
Okay. Okay.
I'm very
Back
light.
to the road.
Yeah, the Rincon. And so it's a cheap, durable shoe. For someone who weighs very light, then it's okay.
What's cheap? What? Yeah,
Shoes are extremely expensive.
But they're all made in China.
So when I started running, everyone says like, all you need is a pair of shoes.
No.
But they don't tell you that you need about 4 pairs of shoes for the year.
There we go.
Yeah, I go through like 4 pairs of shoes a year. That's why I
That's
say
okay.
injury-free.
Nobody tells you that you actually need 4 pairs of shoes.
You want 500 Ks for 600 Ks.
Yeah,
just talking about shoes right now. So hypothetically speaking, if you're doing, the elite athletes do close to 160 to 180 a week.
A week, yeah.
So how many shoes are they going
they've just
through?
got shoes. That's all they have is shoes.
Now, just remember, I'm with a 19-year-old that's at that point right now. So sometimes I also need to fork out, and it's becoming a bit of an issue right now. I won't lie to you, just getting shoes all the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, we just splashed, if I'm correct now, we splashed 9,000 last month on shoes for Edward. And I mean, that's only going to last us like 4 months.
Yeah.
So Edward needs a sponsor.
Definitely, I would love one for him, but it's so tough.
We've just given you the platform to ask for the sponsor. If you should, must think about us also. If you get a sponsor, think about Bush Radio, the running track presenters as well. I think we should play a song. Guys, there we have the Olympic brand is back in town.
I saw they opened up a new store.
Yeah, I was actually there. Remember there last week? Last week I was there. Quite a big.
You ran Oceans in it.
Yeah, I ran Oceans, and the feel was good. I had no blisters, no nothing. And when I do have that, then I feel comfortable in the shoe. I've actually changed from the German brand years ago to the Essex brand, and now I've changed to because of cost. Person got to also weigh your cost.
Yeah,
and
just talking now.
I'm basically
if you're doing
happy.
a lot of mileage, it's 4 or 5 pairs of shoes for the year. It's a lot.
I haven't had a problem with it so far, so touch wood. I haven't lost any toenails.
I've never ever lost a toenail.
Really?
Never,
If you do a
ever.
comrades, you will lose one. That's a guarantee. That's a guarantee.
So let's get back to Peter Chong and to Charl. What's next?
We were talking about sleeping. I just want to hear.
Okay.
Yeah. We were talking about getting enough sleep.
They said if you sleep 8 hours or more, 8 hours, you're beautiful. That's what all the...
You glow.
I'm sorry. How do you sleep 8 hours? I do. You don't run at 4.
Look at her. Does she look like...
She doesn't run at 4:30. That's why.
That's fantastic. I agree. I don't run at 4:30.
Yeah.
No way. Who wants to wake up?
Yeah, my watch tells me, you're more energized if you get up at the same time every morning and go sleep at the same time.
Yeah.
So I most of the 7 days I get my 8 hours sleep.
It's fantastic.
I would say,
longevity. You see, there you go.
I would love sleep at this time of the day. I would love sleep with a newborn
but
baby.
you've got a new baby. There's no way.
No, there's no sleep at all.
It's good training.
No, it's like, I'm kind of used to it. My daily job is a firefighter, so we work 24-hour shifts and getting up 2 o'clock at night to fight the shack fire for 6-7 hours and going back to sleep again. So it's up and down. So you know what sleep deprivation is all about. You learn how to deal with it, and actually does take a toll in your life. Sleep deprivation is a very, very big thing to us.
Yeah. So that's why even for an athlete, I mean, you need to rest. I would say on average, probably 6 hours would probably be what
6
most
hours.
of us get in.
Fascinating. I don't think you people know. You've always seen Edward in races and you see him hit the 29 and everybody's, he hits 29. But nobody knows that he goes to work at 6 o'clock in the evening and then I pick him up at work when he's done working 5 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't eat. He has a shake and then I drive him to the race. He finishes the race, he gets on that podium, he gets into my car, and he's dead. He's sleeping all the way to where I need to drop him. Usually, nowadays, I feel bad because I feel like, is this too hard on his body? So, after every single race, I take Edward to my house, have a shower, there's a spare room where you can go sleep, just put your head down, and that's how I try and get his recovery in and try and make him feel that everything is going to be okay at the end of the day. So yeah.
I think everything in moderation is best. Not too much.
Say that word again. Moderation.
Moderation.
Yeah,
And what is moderation for Peter Chong?
Yeah. And what
You
you
run
do,
every weekend.
yeah, I actually
But not
just
like
showed him-
Ostrov. Not like Ostrov.
I showed him the
But a marathon
calendar
is
and I
no.
said, which one are you doing? And he said, I'm doing all of them.
Yeah, do all of them.
So what do you do in your downtime?
My downtime.
To relax,
I watch.
other than running?
I cook.
Oh, is that
Yes, I'm the chef at home.
Oh, you're the chef
I
at
cook for
home.
the whole family.
Oh, do you love to cook, or
Yes,
is
I
it
love to
is
cook.
it what you
It's always been
have
like
to
that.
do? Okay.
Yeah. Since I was 13, I was told I have to cook.
Yeah, and you
Because-
just developed the
Yeah,
love.
because nobody's at home, so you have to
Yeah.
cook and you look after the brothers and stuff like that. So I just learned how
Are
to
you
cook.
from a big family?
Sort of, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah. Like, You're waiting for the number
I
there.
don't know, there's just three of us. I mean, but there's a whole big family, like uncles, aunties, everybody, like,
Yeah. That's the Cape Town way. There's always an extended family everywhere. Yeah.
So we actually brought you in to come and discuss Cape Town Marathon first time. So I think on the next show, I'm putting you on the spot here. On the next show, will you be able to bring a program in for us and share it with?
Sure, that's not a problem. Something basic would be quite nice for me to just explain what I think would be something that could work. Where I feel that Cape Town runners in themselves, I think where they go wrong. Yeah, that is something.
Actually, I think in the past we didn't do enough conditioning for marathoning. We always thought we needed to do when I started running was run. And of course now with my certification and being a personal trainer and everything, I know that you actually need to incorporate strength, you need to incorporate mobility, conditioning, all sorts of things
There we go.
into your program.
And
So
it's
for me,
always-
I'm like, with our club, that's what we're trying to incorporate now.
So when do you do all of that?
There's time. There is time. You sleep less. Not 8 hours, 6 hours.
No, you don't have to. Let me tell you this one thing. Is that, like, what I realized in the second year of running is that, like, you have to do exact the opposite. If you move forward all the time, you try to move backwards, right? Well, we don't know. I'm not a physician, you know. Like, I'm just a human being. So I said, like, if we do something that way, then I must do it the other way.
Yeah. That's why your coach says you don't listen.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's why I do yoga. So you can actually do yoga in bed. You just sleep in the Yeah, you can.
I love yoga.
Like sometimes in bed, like it's winter, it's like it's getting cold. So like you try to stretch. So like, you know what, you can stretch inside the bed.
Yeah.
Still exercise. That also helps. Yeah, it depends.
And is there ever, coach, I struggle, I'm not an early riser. I don't know why I started running. It took me 20, 16.
16 years.
Yeah, babies. Is it better, or is it person to person to train morning or evening? I struggle with that.
I personally
I
think it's
it's
person to person. Person to person, because you get some people that's just not resilient to the coldness, and then you just got people that can stand. I always look at him, and he doesn't even take note that I actually look at him. Ashraf Ari, he would stand in a shorts and a t-shirt, and it's bloody cold outside, and I'm like, I've got my jacket on, and I'm like, okay, he's just resilient. His body can just handle the coldness.
Yeah, I also do think it's preference as well, and also like in terms of what your job is. Like, I know for me, my job is physical. So by the time it gets to 5 o'clock, I'm not gonna. Do I want to go and run a 10K at 5 o'clock in the afternoon after I've been lifting weights the whole day? No.
No.
So for me, I'll rather do that in the morning. I'll rather run.
So
in the
it is
morning.
basically person
Yeah,
to
I think
person.
it's
yeah.
person to person and your circumstance.
Definitely the
Yeah, your
circumstance,
preference and your
because
circumstance.
life will throw something at
Yeah.
you always curveballs, always
Yeah.
curveballs.
What I've always realized is also better to change it a bit depending on the race you want to do.
Yeah.
Especially for Cape Town, if you run slower, you better get used to the heat.
Yeah.
You better get
Garden
used to it.
Island.
Yeah, that was a
Yes,
best
so you just
sentence.
have to just run when it's hot.
Yeah.
And it was tough. Just by saying that, it was tough because remember the phase when they said, oh, it was like a desert and that.
That was for an island, yeah.
But nobody's taking note of the fact that we actually came from an extremely cold winter, and the winter set on like 2-3 weeks before the race. And just as the race came, boom, then the heat came.
Yeah.
And it's not a thing about we had to have heat training. There was no heat for us to train in. So it was really, really on the day. It was just on the day.
And I must say that listening to the coach and following the program, I managed to pull through.
Thank you for that.
every
Listening to the coach.
every
Guys,
single strategy on every 10K.
I got one more thing to do. Hello and welcome to Bush Radio 89.5 FM. This week I have quite a few items regarding South African athletics and the performances. Just recently we had two South Africans, Akani Simbini and Zikete Nene. Both of them performed very well at the Diamond League meeting in Sweden. Akani achieved his 6th diamond win, not title, his 6th individual diamond win in the sprints. He actually won in Stockholm, Sweden, so congratulations to him. And Zakite Neni surprised in the 400 when he won that race against not the greatest opposition, but it was still a win, and he ran a time of 45 seconds in that race. So well done to those two athletes. And then Akani also achieved another victory in a lower tier meeting in Ostrava, Czech Republic, where he won the 100 meters there again. I think it was very atrocious conditions. Actually, it was raining there in Ostrava, Czech Republic. And then here's the nice thing about a meeting, for university athletes. It's called the University Hard. University Hard. It's actually a combination of the Olympics and athletics. So you will have all the sporting codes, just like you have at the Olympics proper. You would have it at the University Hard, which is essentially a meeting for university students. I would think college students too. And that meeting will be held in Chengdu, China, between the dates of 20 July and 8 August. This is a lovely opportunity for students. Gee whiz, I wish I was at College Still or UWC, or even Stellenbosch, all three places I studied at. It would have been lovely to be at any of these institutions, and to work for something like the 100 meters, the long jump, or the 200 meters, my own disciplines back in the day. And maybe even tennis, which I also liked. I just don't know how hungry our students are and how many of them are aware, that there's a World Student Games. I mean, really, it's a platform for the students, to gauge where they are in the career, and then take it a step higher to the senior events, the Olympics in that respect, if they're playing tennis, swimming, badminton, or whatnot. And then if it's pure athletics, track and field, and the marathon, which is run and race walking, which are held at the Olympics, then this student games will give you, an idea of where you are in your career. As I said, it's a pity we don't get a lot of, well, I certainly don't see much of it, in the newspapers or radio, television, or even in newsletters of the universities, that there is such a meeting. And it seems to me some of the universities, I've just sort of scanned some of these sites and so on, there is interest at some of the universities, and they've already entered some of the teams for these meetings. So really, not just it won't only be a platform for the students, for the senior games, but also for the high school student. If you're in matric and standard 9 or so on, what's it, standard 9 now, grade 11, then it will also be of interest, and a goal to aspire to. Look, I can go to university, study, get an education, and I can probably travel the world for the 3 years that I'm at university, 4 years, 5 years, depending how far you want to go into studying and so on, honors degree, masters and PhD. Be really nice. Yes, so I'm actually envious, as you can hear, of this, the World Student Games, which will be held the 28th July and 8th August. So the youngsters, they must go for it. And the coaches must encourage, and the family members and so on. And then a little bit of more South African news. Last time out when I broadcasted or shared this audio with you,
I mentioned that Talon Bilt ran the record in the women's 100 meters in Lucca, Italy, where she clocked 12.78 seconds. Yes, so that record is short-lived because another young lass, Marianne Fourie, smashed that record in 12.55 seconds in Switzerland this month. I think it was around the 3rd of July or so. So there's a lot of improvement. There's a big jump from 12.78 to 12.55 seconds in the hurdle. So Marianne Fourie, congratulations to her for setting a new record. I'm sure Taylor Bilt would have something to say about this later in the season. And then the World Paralympics is being held in Paris. It's underway at the moment. It started on Monday and will end on the 17th of July. I hope to bring Bush Radio an interview with Raymond Julius, except he's in Paarl. I know him fairly well. He was at college together with me and we participated together in athletics back in the day in the 1980s. And he always travels with the Paralympic team. He used to have a few athletes. I'm sure some of them have retired. He's got new athletes now. And he coaches them, you know. He's not high profile. He's not always given the prominence like some of the other coaches. But if you turn back the clock and your memory, then you will find out that he was Roosevelt Samai's first coach in the long jump out there in Paarl. And Roosevelt Samai has a reasonable record on the international circuit in the long jump event together with Mayonga, if you remember. Also from Wellington, I think, Mayonga, Luvo Mayonga. So I hope to bring you something about the Paralympics in the next broadcast in August, before the World Champs. You know, the World Champs is only going to start on the 19th, and usually we broadcast the track and field news the second Wednesday of August. So there is time for that. I really hope I can get hold of him and we can conduct a little interview and then bring it to you. Speaking about the World Championships, so all roads to the World Championships at the moment. The South Africans haven't finalized their team. I haven't seen anything. The last time I reported, they had 9 male athletes and 1 lady in the team, in the squad at the time. It was Zane van der Walt. But of course, these 2 will be added now, Marianne Fourie and Talon Bilt, for their record performances. I think I reported the last time that Talon Bilt, her time of 12.78 was a qualifying time anyway. So Fourie with her time of 12.55, she will definitely go through. So that's now the squad or the team will have grown by now. I will look out for the team and hopefully bring it to you at the next broadcast. I haven't seen anything unless you have. And in the rest of the world, everybody is getting ready for the World Champs. You know, Kenya have already announced their team. You know, the Omanyala lot and all of them, and Faith Kipyegon, all those top Kenyans running there. I don't know if Elliot Kipchoge is going to run the marathon at the World Champs. We'll have to keep an eye on that. So they've completed their championships and they've announced their team, so they're ready to go. They'll probably have a good championships there in Hungary. That's the Kenyans. And then I've been following 3 national meets, not that I'm going to elaborate on it. The United Kingdom, Great Britain, they had theirs, you know, the Keely Hutchinsons and those people, and Zanelle Hughes, they've all qualified for the meeting. Jasmine Sawyers, who else is there? Daryl Nita in the sprints. They've all qualified, so the British team is shaping up nicely for this meeting, and they've got a few winners there. Zanelle will definitely be on the podium, you know, in the 100 and 200. He's broken Linford Christie's record, so that tells you something. And then the Americans were also looking good. The stuff that came through there was nothing on television, but stuff that came through on YouTube and Facebook. You know, you got a glimpse of what is going on there. Shark, Carrie Richardson, Gabby Thomas, people like that. Cindy McLaughlin, Arthur Moo, all those athletes, exceptional athletes, they've all qualified, so they will probably be announcing the team soon as well. And then the Jamaicans, of course, with the Sharika Jacksons and the like in their team, they've also completed their national champions. All this weekend, of course, this past weekend, they had their meetings. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen in Budapest next month, is it? Yeah, 19th, 27th August. So that is the national championships of the different countries. The next Diamond League meeting will be held in Silesia, Poland, this Sunday on the 16th. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And then there will be 2 more meetings, which I can probably bring to you at the next broadcast, a little review about that, at the next, on the next broadcast next month. And then there will be a break, and then of course the championships, and then the Diamond League will continue. This is Clement du Plessis signing off. Until next time, goodbye.
Wow, that was Clement giving us a whole mouthful there. With track season overseas happening at the moment, the Diamond League and everything. Our track season only starts around about in October, September, October. So we look forward to a bumper season here in South Africa as well, with our athletes doing quite well overseas now. Lesser names coming to the fore, which is actually quite a good thing for us. And the more our runners run overseas, the more the better times they will actually run. So thanks to Clement for that. It was actually, as I said, a mouthful. But we continue we got about 5 minutes left with Peter Chong and Charl Krieger in studio with us, and our guest, Sonia Peters.
Hello.
Wow, Chong. Peter Chong from ChongAir, as I says. Are we planning to get a plane sometime? That's why ChongAir?
I wish. I mean, then I don't have to work. I can just travel around the world and run all the marathons. Eh? Yeah. Nah, no MP. Yeah, just basic ring to it, but like what we said. Yeah.
Just going back to East River's race a couple of weeks ago when you were supposed to break the 75. What actually happened on that particular day?
I think when I was coming back, I didn't feel that well, and then my left calf actually cramped. Yeah. And then I have to reduce my speed. But I didn't know my speed was reducing. The last 3 Ks I'm supposed to run fast, and which I did. Then at the last 2 Ks I realized I was going slow, because I know? I wasn't looking at my watch, I was looking at people who were passing me. And I passed.
That's how you definitely know.
And I was thinking I was supposed to be running 4:30 at least. I was thinking I was on that pace, and I look at my 5 minutes a K, that's slow.
Okay.
I was thinking I said, something's wrong. I was like, wait, something's twitching on the left. And okay. Then, and then Daniel came along. I was like, okay, pace me to the end.
Well, it was a beautiful morning for racing.
Yeah, it was actually perfect. Everything was perfect.
Not even a wind.
And for the first time that I've run that race, it wasn't cold. Previously on that race, it's always a cold race. It's one of the coldest races. The water, it can be warm, but as soon as it reaches your hand, it's so ice. Your body temperature also don't increase, it stays at a certain level. So and that particular Saturday the temperature was good. There was no wind, and people went out there and they ran.
Yeah, all I can say to most people, like, you want to go for a time or a target, like me, and then sometimes doesn't go according to plan, follow what the elite athletes do. If you don't win the marathon, you're not going to win the race. Don't injure yourself, finish the race, and take your lessons learned, and better time next time.
But then all elite athletes are not like that. When they see they're not going to be in the prize money, they get out of the race.
And they get in the car and they go
but they do, because they go.
Is that a new thing in running these days? I've seen a lot of it happen these days. It's like the guys just get off the road.
Yeah.
Like they don't finish the race. If they're not finishing the race, it's if they are beaten, they would walk over the race. It's like, what are you running for? And I boil it down to it's bad sportsmanship. Getting off the road when you know you're beaten. When you're beaten, you actually just walk.
And when you're not in the first 3, or when you just don't worry about the rest of it anymore. You just, there you go.
But that's the difference between whether when running is for love, like you love to run, and just doing it because it's just another sport. Yeah, like I mean, when you start a race, the goal is to finish the race. That's always just the goal.
That's my goal always.
That's always just the goal. Just finish.
My goal is to get as much medals as possible. Feel great. Good reward.
It's a point of reference.
Yeah.
It's just a point of reference where we're going to work to from this point onwards, because when you're actually having a bad race, the body is telling you something. Bottom line. It's either you're going to ignore it, or you're going to take it into cognizance and work on the weeks coming ahead. Either the body was just too tired, or it just wasn't your day. Bottom line.
Yeah.
In Mamre, my first 4 kilometers, 5 kilometers, I was gunning, I was motoring, and then it's the first time basically I hit the wall, and I just couldn't anymore. I don't know if it was my breathing, but I was continuing, but everybody was past me, but I knew I had to drop my pace because I wasn't getting enough air into my lungs. But I just, for the last 5Ks, I picked up again and I went. But the in-between from the 6.5K to the 15K, I was nowhere to be. Everybody was passing me. And my intention was, I'm just going to go to the finish line. But when I got to the last 5Ks, I picked up, I said, this is, I'm feeling good. And I just recovered, yeah. But it was the first time, basically, when I say you hit the wall. Oceans a couple of years ago, good couple of years ago, I've been shown that the watch here, so I better talk quick. Good couple of years ago, from the 21 kilometer mark, I walked to the finish line, and I had no intention of getting out of the race. I knew I got there in time, and I could walk the rest. I was 1.5 minutes to spare. I finished the race, but there was not a race that I've entered that I haven't finished.
Unless they carried you.
No, they got to carry me off, but I'm not going to get out because I was offered a lift on that particular race to get out of the race, and I said no ways.
No, it's not in my makeup either.
But Kevin, if we take the race into consideration, that first 5K pulls you nicely into one to go, though, eh? I mean, the elite bunch went through the half marathon mark at 29:35. That was the 10.5K mark, and I was like, obviously Edward never went through because I was like, whoa, that is way too fast. Hence they had the 1 kilometer gap on him, and I was like,
he still could up.
Yeah, that's why I could still catch up. But I mean, that race, I could see the whole front bunch was drawn into the race, and it is actually a lovely first 8K downhill to that nice deep.
And then coming back up
and
again.
That's where the problem starts, where all the wagons start falling off, you know what I mean? People started speed wobbling uphill us also.
That's true, because I also felt that turning back. But that Mamre race is not that easy as some people make it out.
It's not. It's not.
That's a good race. It was a good race. Were you in there, Peter?
No, that's why I didn't choose it for my club standard race. I was actually running a trail.
So what's next for you?
For me?
Besides this weekend, we know it's Bastille. What's your big one?
Big one?
Yeah, what's your big one?
Cape Town sub 4.
Cape Town, no, I've done sub 4 already. I want to do 3:45.
Okay.
It's actually quite hard to run fast, actually, I must say.
Is the route going to change again this year?
Yes, they will
I think
change.
there's some changes,
I think if I'm correct, I think Book is out though, eh? Book is out, so the race is flattened out a bit more.
Oh, it's not. They can do that Hanover Street section.
There you go.
Okay.
So the course is been put out for a faster time for the elites, basically. And if I speak under correction, I think they got 2 more courses that is faster than the one that they've predicted. And this is the way of us moving to a world standard.
Yes.
But
that is the whole aim.
Yeah, yes.
If you go back to the Pardon Island route, that's actually a fast route in itself.
But there's a desert run.
It is a desert run.
It's horrible. It's horrible. That route.
It's clashing with the time of the year. So basically, I mean, but then again, as an elite, you already pass the sun when it comes to that point also. So, yeah, do we cater for the elites or do we cater for the rest of the world? Because that's where we want to be. We want to be an elite marathon in our country.
So I think
Major. Marathon major.
Oh, that will be so beautiful if we get major status, though.
Yeah, but they need to make it flatter, like 150 elevation, not put a massive hill there.
150 is pancake flat, I think.
Yeah, I need to.
Guys,
let me just run through the events for the month.
Yeah.
Okay, so this weekend, Sonia, your Cape Town Festival of Running, 15th and 16th of July. Remember, you can still enter till tomorrow for all the events. Try and watch social media for any upcoming new plans. And then the Curra Half Marathon on the 22nd of July, presented by Brackenfell. You can enter on the day. There are no free entries.
And it's also a Coca-Cola League.
And it's a Coca-Cola League event. And then, of course, on the 29th of July is Cross Country League 6 at Luandle, at Broadlands Farm, and presented by Luandle Athletics. And then on the 30th of July is Pinelands 10K. Entries open on the 26th of July, and you can enter at pinelandsathleticlub.co.za. No cash entries, but you can enter on the day. Snap scan and limited card facilities. And then RC River 10K on the 5th of August. and entries will be taken on the day. So just check the WPA website for all the upcoming events. And then, of course, the big one, 9th of August, National Women's Day, Total Sports Women's Race.
I've got to
And
also
I think this weekend you're doing Bastille,
Yes.
35. Good luck, Peter.
Yep. It will be
And
fun.
then the next day you're doing the 21.
Yes.
I'll be at the first water table.
I'll
Handing
run.
you water.
I'll run slow. But just one word of advice for most people who are like me, probably like non-elite, normal runners. Like most of the people always go for PBs when they go on race, they only do a specific race. I think my theory from my second year of running, and I learned it very well, is to run as many races as you can. Use the races as your training platform, because most people don't run enough races. When they go to the race, they get pulled in, sucked out, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay,
you
that's
need
some great advice from Peter
to
Chong.
enter all the races.
Into all the races.
Can I just elaborate going on that? Just going into Cape Town Marathon. If I'm correct, you got 6 weeks. Then you got John Karasi.
Yes.
You got 3 weeks later after that, you've got Blauberg Marathon. So the WPA calendar actually helps you and aids you to that marathon.
That is always been the case. The races leading up to the big events are there on the
So if
calendar.
you look
Make
at
use
it,
of
it's
it.
6 weeks to a 30K, 3 weeks after that to a 42,
Yeah.
and then you got, I think, 7 to 9 weeks before you get Cape Town Marathon. So the build up on the race calendar is perfect for you.
Yeah.
There's basically 14 weeks left to Cape Town Marathon at the moment.
Yeah, the 16-week program started the 1st of July.
Guys, as I said, our next show is on the 9th of August, which is Women's Day. And a special running star that particular day is Carlo Molinaro, who came third in Comrades Marathon. She'll be our guest for that particular day. So looking forward to, not myself, I'll be on the decks here on the side, but it will be an all-lady show. So come out and have fun with us on that particular day. And I'll see you next month, all of you.
Yeah, thank you, Charl. Thank you, Peter, for
Thank
coming
you.
The
in.
pleasure is all mine.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll
Amazing.
play
We'll
out.
see you soon.
Peter, with what song can we play out? Jerusalem? Or
Play Gangnam Style. He got a bit of Gangnam Style in him.
Next time I'm going to be singing, I'm going to be doing a ChongAir style.
or let's running up that hill, a
Yeah,
deal
that
with
one,
God.
that one.
Oh, I like
Okay.
that one.
that
That was
one,
my
yeah.
latest one that I like after
Yeah,
watching
that's fun.
Stranger Things.
There we go.
Yes.
Good night, everyone. Bye bye.